welcome to another episode of Deal Makers on my YouTube channel, Cashflow Talk. Today I have two rock star, Andrew Liebenhart. Is that how you say it?
Andrew Liebenhart, yeah.
Yeah, and Dwayne Shaw. These guys are investors, retail realtors as well, and also flippers. They flip properties as well. So welcome, guys. I know you guys are super busy. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. Guys, if you like what you're watching, subscribe to the channel below. And in a minute, guys, tell me a little bit about who you are, what do you do, and just tell me a little bit about you guys.
All right, well, so our company is My Dad Buys Houses. Basically, our mission is to, acquire, investment opportunities while mutually benefiting the community and all of our business relationships, as well as the homeowners. And we got started because our company we're both fathers, and we started with my father. We both have, two daughters actually. And so that's why the name ties in for community. And I'll let you tell them how we met. Well, not how we met, but how I actually met him when I was 12. We've known each other forever, but how we got back together, basically.
Yeah,
awesome.
So back in, I think it was around 2013, I purchased a property, I fixed it, I flipped it, and I gave him a call. I was like, hey, come check out my flip. I look at the crown molding, look at the tile, look at the new kitchen, and I was so excited by that deal. Made probably a little over $40,000 on that deal. And he was like, wait, hold on, you made how much? You did who, how, what? You got to show me this business, how to do it, and things like that. And pretty much since then, we became partners in this business.
What's interesting is, at that time, I was actually a school teacher.
Okay.
And I was making 40 grand a year, and he made 40 on a house. And I was like, fuck this.
That's how I feel sometimes. And sometimes I think like, oh my God, this is a 1 year's profit for somebody else. For I would say for 50% of the population, or for the average American. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. So that's awesome, guys. By the end of this talk, we're gonna talk about how these guys operate a full office under the same roof. They have retail, they have flips, they have wholesales, they have a title company, they have a whole bunch of agents here working, and it's just a connection. How many deals you guys do just because of the connection that everybody brings under the same roof, right?
It's funny you say that, because that's the main reason why we do our seminars. Like every time we do a seminar, I always tell Dwayne the main focus of this should be to get people to do deals with us.
Absolutely.
So our first real challenge we did in the office was a 90-day challenge. The guy who was just passing by out there about 10 minutes ago, he won the challenge. He picked up a deal for I think $30,000. He sold it to us for 20. We kept it, and I think we were all in at like 55 or something like that on a 3-2 in Fort Lauderdale. So since those classes, I would say we've gained about 3-4 pocket investors where they're just really our friends. We call them pocket investors, but I think that's what a pocket investor is. It's just somebody you know really well who trusts you. Yeah. And it's to the point where we could just tell them, hey, I have this property, and they'll put up the escrow. They trust us that much now. So I'd say probably about 10, 12 deals have come from just the leveraging of where we're at.
Yeah, relationships.
We've made a nice little income from the realtors in here because we try to help them in terms of their careers and what they want. So if they want to do that whole retail side, we help them out with the retail side. But we do have a lot of them that want to learn the investment side, and we have been able to successfully help them learn that retail side. And thus, we've made a nice little income off of that. I think last year, we want to say probably a little just shy of 200.
Okay.
Just off of the deals that they were able to help bring us.
That's not a nice little income, man. That's a nice big income. Man. So many people love to have a $200,000 business.
Yeah. And then the thing on top of it is, so the retail brokers that we're with is United Realty Group.
Okay.
So we're 100% commission. So it's super lucrative for a lot of investors to come here because they're only paying a $299 transaction fee.
Yeah.
So we've been getting a lot of investors in our office. Quite a few that we knew outside of retail, and a lot of them now are starting to get their licenses because they're realizing how much commissions are missing. I make about $40K a year from purchasing properties from the MLS and either closing them for rehabs or closing them and just re-wholesaling them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a legal double dipping, We're wholesaling and we're acquiring so many properties. Sometimes we get the deals on the MLS and we offer both sides of the commission to a realtor, so that's the old trick. But many other deals, you can actually pick up the 3% as well for you. And it's weird how so many listing agents sometimes, I don't know if it's happened to you, they're like, oh no, I can't take 3%. Okay, I'll take it. If you don't want it, I'll take it. and it doesn't change the fact that our offer is gonna come in, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, terms have a lot to do with everything.
Yeah.
You know? You can't go to your buyer and say, well, I'm not going to take this deal because I'm not making 6%.
Yeah.
You have to present all your offers.
Exactly.
So if we're giving a strong offer, you know, it's very rare that a realtor will come back to me and say, no, I'm not going to take this deal because I'm not making 6%.
Yeah.
And half the time, they're not even thorough or diligent enough to realize that I'm the guy signing as the buyer and as the real estate agent.
Yeah.
Until like the end of the deal, they're like, wait a minute, those are the same signatures.
Yeah. Well, you have to
and
disclose.
then you resold it.
Yeah, we resold it.
Yeah,
We disclosed that we're a realtor. Yeah. And we're investors.
But still, I think this is Miami. This is like a little South America, and there's a lot of people out there looking at their own pocket, you know, and sometimes when they see that two sides of the transaction, they take your offer. Guys, what has been your biggest challenge in business? Because I feel that operating an office under the same roof with so many people, so many players under the same roof brings a lot of challenges. What has been one of the biggest challenges?
Like, where do we start? I'll start first. I think one has been the growth of everything, right? So it's kind of like we just started. It was him and I had a full-time job. He had a full-time job, and it was kind of like, okay, we were doing 3, 4, 5 deals a year, whatever it was. Then it was, okay, we went full-time into this. Then we were trying to scale up to doing, 5 deals a year to do 20 deals a year. Then we hit the 20. Then how do we get from 20 to 40 to et cetera? So within the growth, in every stage of the growth, we've had our set of challenges. And some of it has been, a lot of it has, and we're still trying to tweak out the bugs. It's basically systemizing everything so that everything can kind of flow logically and the way that it's supposed to, so that it makes sense and things like that, and we're not spinning our wheels. I think we learned that a lot too when I got married a couple years ago, and I went away on my honeymoon, and I normally manage our rehab, and he was like, what the hell do I do now? Like,
3 weeks felt like 3 years.
Yeah. Like 5 minutes.
Like I was walking through the desert and there was no end.
How do you say, like 5 minutes underwater?
Yeah,
so it exposed, but that exposed like one of our, like something that we needed to do. We needed to make sure that our business was systemized and really try to where it doesn't matter whether I go away or he goes away, everything can continue to flow.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're still not there. You know, we're still not at a point where if he were to just leave tomorrow, that I understand what's going on with every property. But that's what we're trying to implement right now through our systems. And we honestly, I think our biggest struggle from my end has been we've bounced around from so many different CRMs. We have not found a CRM that is just fit with like the way our system works. Like, you know, we were on Podio for a while. Podio felt like a 1994 PC computer. Like it had no feel to it. No, I didn't feel a connection to it. And we were on Zoho. I liked Zoho. It was like Podio with a better feel. But the problem was, in order for me to see everything that's going on, I gotta click this, click this, click this. So now we're on Pipedrive where I can just go into my CRM and I see everything visually. And it's super easy. I just move it across. And it has automation. And so, you know, we like have everything automated. We have like Mojo Dialer going to the Pipedrive to, you know, if I select this and it goes into like, we're going to close on the property, I put it in that column, it'll go into a new pipe, which is like a listing pipe or a rehab pipe. So
That's
I mean, because our business has so many components, that's also been a challenge too. It's kind of like, okay, we have the retail section, we have the wholesaling section, then you also have the rehab section, and then we've had a couple dibble and dabble and some rentals and things like that, but we want to start growing that section. So that's going to be another section that we're eventually going to whatever. So how is it that we wake up every morning and just really know in like 15 seconds what's going on 100% in our business and everything like that, connecting pieces.
That's awesome, guys. And one of the things I love these deal makers is because I interview people like you and me. I interview people that are the 95% of the population. You know, it's not the super gurus that have everything set up and everything ready and they're lying online. No, we have challenges. That's what business owners do. I believe that business owners are problem solvers. You know, 100%. We come every day to solve problems. We find opportunity, we attack it, but every opportunity brings their challenges. And if you want to get paid as a business owner, you need to solve problems. It's a different chess match every single deal, whether it's retail, wholesale, flips, everything. Imagine dealing with contractors. That's a pain in the ass. The wholesale deals with violations. That's a pain in the ass. Realtors being picky about these walls not being pink and they want it white. That's a pain. Everything is hard. You know, but that's what business owners do, and that's why we get paid what we get paid. We solve people's problems. You guys agree?
You hit it on the, exactly.
Awesome. So, who has been your biggest motivator in personal life or business life?
Well, my biggest motivator is definitely my father.
Okay.
My father's been there for me through everything. Like, since I'm little, I've always had my dad. And then, he recently had got cancer and he beat it. And he's so nice, friendly, and just, you would never even realize that he's going through something that is this traumatic as going for chemotherapy and things like that. You'd never even know it when you spoke to him. So he comes across as, real, like a happy, gentle person, but he's very strong. And so for me, he is kind of just seeing how he deals with life has always kind of helped me a little bit. And then, I'm motivated by just my kids.
Awesome.
Making sure that their futures are all right.
Awesome.
Because I have crazy amount. Like, this is reality. I have $100,000 in student loan debt.
Yeah.
Could I pay it off? Probably. But do I want to pay all that off right now instead of deferring it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I don't want my daughters to acquire all that debt. Dwayne and I both have master's degrees.
Yeah.
So I went to FSU. He went to UF. I went to Barry for my master. Where'd you get your master's from?
Nova.
So
Then wholesale and whatever.
The crazy thing, I was about to become an assistant principal right before I went into this career. And then right before that, I was, producing music on a major label. Like I've done it all, man.
Yeah.
And but I think both of us, our family motivates us.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everybody else. Who's your biggest motivator?
He said part of it is family. Other people is because I always like to study success, and I've always I think it was like back in like 2005, 2006. I kind of drew out my life and what I wanted for myself. And when I try to find people who are similar and things like that. So people like Marcus Lemonis.
Yep.
I love that guy. Who doesn't love that?
That guy is...
I love studying him. I love, I'm going blank, owner of the Mavericks.
Mark Cuban.
It's you know what I mean? So I like studying him. Those are probably, two individuals I like.
Awesome. What has been your biggest lesson? Being in business, what has been your, like, if you had to start over again, how would you start, and what has been your biggest lesson?
I would say that one of the biggest lessons is that, so there's like 3 million ways to skin a cat, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In this game especially. Strange to have a vegetarian say that. But there really is. So there's so many ways to do this, and you have to figure out what your business should look like and what you want your life to look like. And I think when we first got into this business, we weren't answering those questions. We were just saying, we want a wholesale business. We want to close a bunch of deals. We want to, make $3 million. And then you start realizing what it takes to do those things. You start wondering, so, okay, what is it that you really want? And so I think the thing that we've learned the most from everything, honestly, is just to cater your business to your lifestyle.
Yep.
So if you don't want to come to your office every day until 11, then don't come to your office every day until 11. Just work out your time so that happens. Like, I'm not an early morning person. I hate waking up before 7:30. I'm not functional.
Yeah.
So I'm functional at the office about 10 to 11.
Okay.
And so you have to cater your business to that. And not just that, like, if you want to be able to travel, we didn't have our business set up in tune to what we wanted our lives to be.
Okay.
And now we're starting to say, okay, that's why we want rentals.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this business, as great as wholesaling can be and rehabbing can be, it can be very similar to a check-to-check business too. Because I'm waiting for my next wholesale deal. I'm waiting for my next rehab. And then that is the same cycle of being a teacher, of being a craft, employee. It starts to become, okay, I'm living check to check, but I'm just doing it for me. Yeah. As opposed to just having income coming in and being able to say, I need this month off.
Yep.
And so I think the biggest learning lesson, for me at least, has been to make sure that your business fits the life that you want. Because at the end of the day, that's why you're an entrepreneur, so that you're happy.
Awesome.
I'd say that things is going to happen. As you say, ish happens.
Shit happens.
It happens, and it's kind of like you got to feel forward. It's either is it going to be a roadblock or a stepping stone, and it's basically your perspective, and just basically making sure that your downfalls can be great learning lessons, and just utilize that to be wiser and smarter and just move forward.
Awesome. Hey guys, again, if you like what you're watching, subscribe to the channel below and give us some comments. If you guys want these rock stars to answer any questions, put it in the comment below and I'll happy tell them to answer the questions for you. So one of the biggest challenges in business, and again, I have in my same YouTube channel an episode that I call Shit Happens. And shit happens, I do it because I'm tired of the fakers online just saying that everything is flowers and roses in business. There are challenges in business. And again, going back to the previous conversation that we were having a few minutes ago, we are problem solvers. What has been one of your biggest shit happened moments or deals where you lost money, you lost a relationship, you lost a deal? And I know we can go on and on and on and on. But tell me one of your biggest ones. But most importantly, don't go too long about the story. Tell me what you learned and how did you move on, or what did you fix so it doesn't happen again? What did you learn?
It never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can tell you one thing we've definitely learned over and over and over again, and now we just don't even question ourselves. If you're gonna buy a house and resell it for over 300 or 350, I should say, you have to put in hurricane windows down here, or you have to have shutters. Otherwise, every single time we get to that property, we get buyers who are interested and they just don't want the property due to hurricane impact windows or no impact protection. And we've literally had three or four houses that literally at the end we had to just suck it up and just cough up the 15K or cough up the 12K. And that'll eat into your deal if you didn't plan for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That and roofs. You know, we had a property in Plantation, had a bad roof. We thought we were able to just kind of seal it together. It didn't work out. We had to give a full roof credit, and that's happened to us a couple times. And now, you know, we've learned from these mistakes. Like, if it's a property that you know the city is going to be up and down on, you pull the permits. Otherwise, you get hit double. You know, you make sure your roof is sound, and just because it's sound, make sure that it's got another 5 to 7 years. Because even though it's sound, if you're going to sell it back and it's 3 years left, these buyers now, especially with the inspection companies, they're very hesitant to tell you that the roof has 3 to 5 years because they don't want it to fall on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't cut corners. That's a great one.
You know, sad to say, I think this year, we've had 2 properties this year that we actually lost money on. And, you know, it's not something that we're happy about, not something we're proud of because of everything that we went through either way, we lost money. And I think when we kind of go back and look at it, like, numbers were tight in the beginning, numbers were margin, and we always, from day one, we always planned for the worst case scenario. So we need to be more conservative on our worst case scenarios. Like, it's, even if a rehab is going to take, 60 days, we always plan it for 6 to 7 months. If it doesn't make sense at a 6 to 7 month,
then it doesn't make sense.
Then we just don't do it. And just stick within your guns and your principles.
Awesome, guys. That's amazing. Just be aware, plan for the worst, you know, and and do things right. You know, don't cut corners. Absolutely. All right, guys. So before we finish, I have 2 more questions, and then we're gonna go to the fun round, which I didn't tell you I was gonna do this, but I will do it real quick. 2 more questions. You told me you're very much involved into the personal growth and learning. What is the one book that you would recommend to our viewers, or YouTube channel, or podcast, or any person any book that changed your lives?
For me, it would probably be, and I don't know if this is stereotypical or whatever, but for us, at least for me, it was Traction. Only because it helped to answer a lot of questions that we had in our business. Like, how do we function as partners? Like, what are our roles? Sometimes we stepped on each other's toes and just whatever. So now, like, after reading that book, it was kind of like, okay, no, you need to function on this. I need to function on this. We need to stay in those reins, and this is how we're going to grow more powerful. So I've been read that book. I enjoyed it, and I've been reading other books within the Traction series to basically sharpen and sharpen basically our skills in our business.
That's awesome.
On a personal development level, there's 2 books that have changed my life completely this year. One is called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind.
Okay.
I think that's by Vishon. I forgot his last name.
Strange last name.
And then The Untethered Soul.
Okay.
And so The Untethered Soul talks about how you have this constant voice in your head And basically, like, imagine plugging yourself into 3D. Everything was, everything was virtual, and you're in there for 2 hours, and you plug yourself out. Well, who is the person witnessing all of that?
Wow.
So there is a brain, and then there's a conscious mind.
Okay.
And the conscious mind is actually you. And it talks about how this voice keeps going, and if you just stop, your voice will keep saying, well, what are we going to talk about? It just keeps going.
That's
and
awesome.
I've learned that voice sometimes exists in business too. Tell us, get another one. And sometimes you have to stop that voice and like, slow down.
Okay.
And so the untethered soul, and then the code of the extraordinary mind just talks about bullshit rules that we've grown up with into thinking. Like, for instance, a bullshit rule is that if you don't finish all your food, it's going to go to waste.
Yep.
But whether you eat it on your plate and it goes into your body, or you throw it away,
it's still going to go to waste.
It's still going to waste. So these little rules that we've formed throughout our lives to basically now to break them and to basically reprogram our brains like we reprogram computers, update the software in our brains. So
that's awesome. Awesome, guys. So one favor, at the beginning of this talk, I ask you guys to subscribe to the channel below. But one thing is if they hear from me, can I hear from you guys? If they can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cashflow Talk.
You know what? Camilo is 100% real. What you see is what you get. There's a lot of knowledge, a lot of information that he's able to give to you. I think we've learned a lot from you as well in the last few minutes.
I appreciate it.
So definitely 100%. You guys got to hit the button below. Go ahead and subscribe, follow.
And he's getting the right people on the channel. Honestly, a lot of the people I've been seeing on there are guys that we either have in our mastermind group or we invited to speak at our seminars or. So, I mean, you're definitely hitting all the right people too.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. So before we finish, quick round, quick questions that have nothing to do with real estate, but it has a little bit more about you. Quick questions, quick answers. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Fail for it.
What is it?
Fail for it.
Fail for it.
Really plan, man. Plan yourself better. Yeah.
Awesome. What did you want to do when you were a kid?
I wanted to be an actor.
Actor?
I wanted to be a famous musician.
Awesome.
Oh, you did that.
I wanted to be a cop. I don't know why. Who was your idol when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I had a few. Probably MacGyver and then Michael Jackson.
Michael Jordan for me.
And Michael Jordan. And Bo Jackson was another one. Sports.
Okay.
Love Bo Jackson.
Okay.
I don't know that I really had an idol growing up
No?
like that. There wasn't like that one person I looked up to. Like now, my idol would be like Steve
Okay.
Harvey, somebody like that,
Okay, awesome. Favorite class in school?
Math, maybe?
Math?
I'm trying to think. I liked show choir. There was nothing but girls in there.
That's awesome.
I loved it.
Nerd or school clown?
I was just an animal.
Yeah.
I was a madman when I was younger.
I was a nerd.
I definitely wasn't a clown. I was definitely, I don't know. I was really like when I was like 16 to 18. I was like seriously into women. Like I was like one track mind when I was younger. I was bad. And definitely, I don't think either of us were really nerds.
No. Okay. All right. So in the middle. What do you always carry with you, but it's not your cell phone?
Wallet. A sense of pride.
Oh, so motivational. Wow. Look at that. What do you do to relax after a long day of work?
Oh, man.
I
Do we
like,
tell the truth here?
Go for it, man.
For me,
I mean,
You can say.
hey, I'm a 420. I'm a 420 approver.
Okay.
I like to play basketball.
Awesome. What would you have loved to do, but you didn't have the talent for? Musician. No, you haven't.
Oh no, yeah, I actually did that. Honestly, I've always wanted to be able to like paint and draw, but I can't get past the stick figure.
All right.
Probably professionally sing or professionally play sports.
Awesome. Last question. If you could spend a day with anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Man, so for me, I'd have there would be a few people, and it would be hard for me to go through. Oprah would be on that list. Obama would be on the list. Marcus Simonis would be on the list. Probably Mark Cuban would be on the list. Maybe Damon John would probably be up there.
All right, so you're a Shark Tank.
So the whole damn Shark Tank.
Yeah, all Shark Tank.
The whole CNBC.
Just go present yourself in front of Shark Tank, man. You need investors.
Possibly.
Yeah. And you?
Honestly, like Steve Harvey is my guy, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I really like him more than anything. He's a guy who definitely started from the bottom, and he's a guy that to me, your character is shown when you're at your worst moments or when you've made a big failure or something like that. It's not shown when you're all the way up, successful, all the way, happy. That's your best you. Your character shows when you're at your worst.
Awesome.
And when he did the Miss America pageant and he messed up,
yeah,
I love the way the dude just came out and said, "I'm sorry. I did something wrong. I messed up. I own it." And listen, we're men, and sometimes we mess up. And I love people who own their mistakes. And this is just a guy who just spreads positivity. He's constantly speaking powerful things to the urban communities. And he's out there, and whoever becomes the Family Feud host after him has got their hands full. Cause that dude is too funny.
For sure,
he imparts a lot of wisdom, and I some of the stuff I watch of him lately is just it's deep.
And he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He's a monster entrepreneur.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's a guy I definitely admire, man.
Awesome, guys. I told you it was gonna be short and sweet. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm gonna tag you everywhere once these is out,
Okay.
and your handles are gonna be there for Instagram, for Facebook, for YouTube. I'll tag you guys everywhere, so share with your family and friends. And guys, again, don't forget to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And again, if you guys have any questions, comment below, and I'll have these rock stars answer them for you. I'll see you guys next time, and have a good one.
Bye.
Take out.